a lot of that influenced the editing as well. Like, you know, they would cut too late. Like, you know, like, so, I mean, Mike does that a few times in the movie where we, you know, he just, all the acting just drains out of his eyes, and he's just like, you know, like, I'm gonna get you, and then just stops, you know, like, it all drains out of his face, and then you see the cut, you know, so it's like.
A number of those films were acted by, like, theatrical actors. They would, like, hire somebody who was doing Shakespeare all the time, but now the guy's playing you know,
Blackie, like William Marshall.
Yeah, exactly. So the guy sounds like William F. Buckley delivering like jive talk.
Let's take a look for a taste of Black Dynamite. I'm glad you showed that clip because the first time I saw it when you were blinking with the nunchucks, I was laughing so hard.
That's a little influence from Jim Brown. Jim Brown used to blink so much. Anytime he shot a gun, he blinked like furiously. and I borrowed Jim Kelly's Ki. If anybody knows, it was a very distinct yell that he, hooey! You know?
And you borrowed his wig as well, I think. Right?
Oh yeah. And one stunt man that I actually beat up 3 times in that same clip, Damien Portier. He flew out the window.
And then he's right there.
Yeah, and that's no like camera trick. He flew out the window, you know, and then magically wound up in front of me again.
Yes. See, that's one of the things I love too about the movies. That discontinuity was always a part of those movies. They didn't have enough people, so they had to bring the same guy back in to get beat up again.
If you can find those things, you get extra points. You know.
One of the things that you were saying, Sally, made sense to me. That once you put that wig on, then it kind of makes sense to you, doesn't it? I mean, what you're supposed to be doing.
I think when you do any role, once you get on, I mean, you know, besides your other, as soon as they called me, I took out all the Pam Grier movies, you know, I had to look at it. But once you put on the whole costume, you have to, it helps you feel what you have to do. So in watching Pam, I realized how bad, nothing against her, but how bad the acting is in all of those movies. And at least they stayed true to all of the breaths that were in the movie. Like, you have that one bedroom scene. And what I noticed watching the movie was, like, every time, I guess this will be in your other movies with other actresses, but every time the women would fight in these movies, like, the first hit was always like, so a big titty would fall out. And I'm looking, I'm going, it's the amount of nudity that was in these old films, and every time women fought, they always had their breasts out. They were always fighting half naked. Every single one of them. I was amazed by it. It has nothing to do with what you asked me, but I was just amazed by the whole thing, and I thought it'd be interesting.
I have to be honest, if you said big titty, I forgot what I asked you.
I know.
Before I go too far with this, so I guess we're going to take some audience questions. There's a microphone right here.
This is a question for Michael. The action sequence that we just saw, did you have a, I'm sure you had a training before the movie filming. Could you tell us a bit about your training process, I guess?
Well, I've been doing martial arts for a long time, ever since I was a kid. I have actually 7 different black belts in different styles. I mean, but well, now this was basically, you know, we did it 70s style, which is really a kind of a basic style. It's not really too difficult to perform, but it's, you know, because, you know, we want to stay within that genre, but kind of we bumped it up a little bit. A little bit.
You mean like tossing a guy out the window?
What's that?
You mean like tossing a guy out the window?
Oh, well, yeah, tossing a guy out the window came you know, early. You know, but I mean, you know, I've trained. Byron is also a martial artist. He's trained for 20 some odd years, but you know, I touch on different styles, and basically, at that time, it was a lot of Shotokan, that Japanese style that really was predominant in the movies of the 70s. So I chose to do that style.
There's also the style too where people only come at you one at a time, and everybody else stands and waits for that guy to get beat up.
Oh yeah.
And my main question would be, since it's a 70s blaxploitation film, would concern the soundtrack. Now, would it feature like some classic 70s songs, or would it be new material with like some samples, or are you gonna pull a Rudy Ray and cover the soundtrack yourself?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. Our soundtrack is a character of its own, and it is unique. And the man who's behind it is in this room. That man who's not will.i.am, but looks a little. that's Adrian Young, AJ.
Yeah. He's wearing yellow pants for no good reason.
I test the music again. I was in the makeup trailer the other day, like this is about 3 days ago, while on the set, and we all listened to the to the same iPod, whatever, and I mixed my stuff in there. I played some of our original music that he made. Everybody's thinking, well, who's this? Is this Curtis Mayfield? Is this Willie Hutch? Okay. And I'm just like knowingly just smiling. All right, I tell them finally after they heard like the third or fourth cut, I said, no, that's original. That's AJ. He created this. AJ has been playing this music in his garage for years, and he's just amazing.
Quick question about utilizing the library footage and stock footage that you guys utilized for this in terms of the structure, writing the script as well as the editing process. Was that locked in place or was that kind of free form? Just speak quickly to that because it's amazing how you guys utilize that.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, we couldn't afford to have like a car chase, with period cars on a freeway somewhere. So like we kind of backed into it, and we actually, well, this is the weird thing about the movie. We couldn't have made it without buying Sony stock footage, and then Sony bought the movie. So, I mean, Sony had all this stuff. They had like, there's like Charlie's Angels in it, the TV show, Charlie's Angels, the movie, like this Matt Helm, which is like a Dean Martin pilot, was the car chase, where we got that from. Like the Rookies, SWAT, there's all that. It's just odds and ends that they had in their library. And then also a lot of Chuck Norris's Missing in Action, too, is in the movie.
And because it worked out so well before, we have one more clip from Black Dynamite. Let's thank the cast of Black Dynamite and its director.